back, y'all talk. It's me, Big T, and we have two artists, not one. We're switching up a little bit, you know, and I think it's gonna be great. Chance to connect for both of y'all, and I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all introduce yourselves and tell y'all story, and it's gonna be great. Y'all stay tuned.
What's poppin', y'all, man? I go by the name of ISO. From the Bay Area, Oakland, California, to be specific. And yeah, man, I love doing what I do. You know, I think I do it at a high level, and I just enjoy. I love to, you know, eventually, you know, make a culture shift as small as I can, whether it's just internally and into my, you know, right outside radius and as far wide as we can make it, and you know, just continue to show people who really love this music stuff and want to keep pushing it.
My name is Rhakim Ali, upstate New York, man. You know, just doing what I do, man. Just trying to be the best at what I could do, you know.
Real shit. And to me, I think y'all both are the best at what you do. Both of your sounds are phenomenal, and I think once you go back around and really listen to what each other has, you'll see for yourself, like, both your artistry is on par and unbeaten. Like, I love the stories y'all tell and the sounds y'all create. We need more of this, more of what y'all do.
Absolutely, definitely.
Now, talking about where you're from, how do you differentiate from where you're from?
Just learn how to be yourself, man. Don't let none of the politics influence you. Don't let, you know, what social media or what the mainstream is going on. Just try not to let any of that influence you to the point where you're stepping out of your character. You know what I mean? Like, just growing up making music, you know, being in my local area, like, I always wasn't the popular vote. Like, I wasn't voted the best artist. Like, I was never really on the top 5, top 10 list. And it just, like, depending on who you are, like, that could take a toll on you when you're making music. So, you know, just learning how to, you know, stay true to yourself, stick to your guns, and just believing that, you know, if you be yourself, you can prosper. I feel like just having that philosophy in your mind when you being creative, no matter what you do, I feel like it's going to get you far. So I feel like that's something that definitely helped me differentiate from the crowd.
Nah, facts. I think just to kind of play off of that, like, tap into and dive deep into your individuality. Like, you are different. No matter how much you want to be like somebody or something else, like, okay, those little things that you may be, you know, ashamed of, or those little things that, you know, you shy about, is usually the things that, like, will make you shine in other people's eyes, in a sense. So just take it, whatever it is, however you grew up. You know, like me, I grew up in different places. My influences were very different from, say, maybe a lot of people who are from where I'm from. And I just really try to, not even consciously, I think it just subconsciously happens, just tap into it. I try not to steer away from all the things that I think make me authentically different, you know, and some things that people may not look at and love, but you like, it's you. And then automatically it just kind of grows into whatever it does, and then it'll just come out through your art. So I definitely just say that, just tap into that, whatever it is that really makes you different.
Real shit though. You gotta find ways to, you know, everyone might have their inspirations and their favorites. You can take bits and pieces from what they do, but only you can sprinkle what flavors you're used to.
Mm-hmm.
How you get down in the kitchen is however you get down in the kitchen. Just like Tabitha says, it's your business. It's your business.
Oh, yeah.
What would you say are some of the experiences that you went through and how would those experiences influence your music?
Man, Dude, we don't gotta get deep into that. There's a whole bunch of stuff, you know, but I'm sure like all of us, man, growing up, we all grew up different ways. I'm sure there's some similarities, but there's always these unique things you experience growing up, you know, how you know, who's there, who's around, people you lose while you're growing up, you know, the company you make, the friends you keep, the friends you lose, the relationships you have, the relationships you lose, how deep connections get with people. I try and, as much as I could, put all of that in to the music, and without trying to force it. I love to, like, when it naturally just comes. I think, you know, growing up, how I grew up, being born outside the country, coming here, being the youngest of three, living with, you know, just having my man, not, you know, seeing my dad for a long time, just little things like that, is kind of, I think, what really, I could say, defines a lot of that individuality in my music.
I agree. I just feel like, you know, growing up, we all got some type of story to tell, you know. As humans, you know, I always say that no one's immune to difficulty. So it's like we always go through hardships, no matter who we are, who we around. Like we got to go through it. And I feel like how we are able to come back and bounce back from those moments, I feel like that's something that what helps us become better people. And, you know, I just feel like I enjoy expressing that in my music. You know what I mean? I don't want people to think that, you know, going through a lot, like you getting picked on or like you deserve it. It's like you just got to learn how to get through those things. So, you know, just growing up how I grew up, I had a fun childhood, you know, also being the youngest. I was the youngest of three, two older sisters. I lived with my mom. So, you know, I was the only boy and I was the youngest. So it's like, I had to find an outlet. I had to find somebody to talk to or at least something to do. So, you know, once I picked up music, it was up from there.
Yeah. And one thing about music, it'll stick with you. Same too.
Hell yeah.
I like to say that really bringing people together is music and food. You got them two together, you can't.
It's over.
Can't lose.
That's why it's always music playing when there's some food around.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got this crazy plan. Hey man, anyone could take it if they wanted to. I think everybody can get it, but I got this crazy idea. I'm thinking about like, okay, get big or get to a certain height in my career, and I want to own a food truck. Not just one food truck, but multiple food trucks, like a what's it called? Franchise, kind of like a multiple different food trucks.
Yeah.
But when I go on tour, I take one food truck with me. Let's say I'm opening up for a headline, and I'm still, you know, I still got my impact on the industry. So people are still excited to see me. When I go get off a stage, I mention, hey, you want to meet me, or even do interviews at Yard Talk, or go get some food, come outside. So you feel me? I'm basically taking half the whole show, you know, to come out and eat. And they ain't gonna leave for the headliner. Sorry.
Nah.
Buy my food truck, sleep. The money around though, for real. I got paid from the truck and got paid from the show. Damn.
That's a fact.
Then you can sell your merchandise right on the side of it. Feel me?
You got the whole plan.
Yeah. What would y'all say is a day in a life without music, or even before the music came into your life?
I would say it was cool, you know. Before making music, I was always a fan of it. I grew up around it. Like I had family members that rap, that song, that made beats. So I feel like it was just only a matter of time before I stepped into that lane. I love sports. I just loved entertainment. Like I was always like the one that wanted to be behind the scenes, but I was always also the person that wanted to be in front of the camera. So, you know, I was able to get an experience with a lot. And, you know, once I ended up finding music, it was just like something just clicked. Like it hit me. And then it's like now that I'm older, I just realized that might have been destiny, you know, playing its part in my life, you know. Because I was doing that, I was playing ball in middle school, and my behavior wasn't the best, so I ended up like getting kicked off the team. And once that happened, like I kind of just took music like 1,000% seriously, and now it's just like I'm here, blessed to, you know, be experiencing these opportunities. So I feel like life without music was definitely, it was fun, but music, I would say music helped in more ways than just, you know, being a better artist and just, you know, filling up my pockets. You know what I mean? It helped me grow as a person and as an artist.
Yeah. Similarly, I think life before music was, you know, I mean, life earlier was just fun. We had less things to think about, less worries. We had everything seemed simple. You going out, you know. Yeah, I grew up, like you said, great childhood. I didn't have, at least close relatives, people I really knew, you know, making music, kind of in the business, or just really that real affinity or love for it, except my sister. But she just kind of liked what she liked, you know. She was just 2 years older than me, so it wasn't like something I grew up on. We kind of grew into it together, but she was probably one of my earliest influences. But yeah, like you, I was playing basketball, you know, since like first grade. But music, it was just something that was always constant for me. And, you know, it turned out after I graduated college, it just came back around for me. And I just decided, you know, I've kind of squeezed basketball for all that it got for me. You know, it got me education, it got me a degree. So I was like, maybe let me take this time now that I've squeezed what I can from this and really jump all the way into trying to get this music going. I just didn't want it to be something I'll regret in the future of not even trying. So yeah, I think it was just that. It was just family, hoop, and shit, you know, kids do growing up before music. But once music came, it filled a lot of holes that I didn't even know I had. You know, I know I had lots of teammates that once they stopped hooping, like, I wouldn't say completely got into a depressive state, but you could see how that could happen. And lucky for me, I had some kept me, you know, just above ground.
Yeah. And you know, I know a lot of people, you know, a lot of parents be like, you know, what if this doesn't work out? What if that doesn't work out? You always got to have that, you know, backup plan, you know? And art comes in many forms. There's even art in sports as well. You know, there's
absolutely
everything in the world. You know, there's people that see the world in numbers, and me personally, I see the world in art. From every little detail, these posters, art, these license plate, art, chair, art, couch, bed, everything. TV, art. That's their artwork. That's their art form. You know, and it just depends how you are able to express it and put it out and create. But once you figure that out, you'll be on the right path. What would you say are some specific experiences that was hard to put down on record from songs that you already have in your catalog?
I'll say, like, I had a song on an album I dropped 2 years ago, Eche. The title track, actually, which I feel was kind of like a thesis of the full album, just where me and my boy Dev were trying to attack and kind of address and make sense of ideas that was kind of circling in our psyches, just the idea of good and evil, and trying to understand that there's so much gray area between that, and trying to really attack that idea in many different ways, you know, building a world around it, having a character, experience things in that world and see how, you know, this person relates with the people who aren't really experiencing life in the world the way he is. But, you know, that title track, which, you know, I kind of put myself as that character, even though we never were like, this is about me. So that like title track, we really dove all the way into it, you know, and kind of just really tried to throw it in people's faces, but in kind of a real clever way, and just see how people reacted to it. You know, it's kind of an attempt to just be like, this is what I got for y'all, and then we'll see how they react to it. So I said that was probably one of those songs that I had to go to a place I haven't really been to really write and get across.
I kind of have a song with the same concept, similar concept. It's called "Rivers of My Fathers," inspired by the Gil Scott track. You know, just expressing my truth. You know, just telling my story. You know, trying to find my way. You know, just dealing with certain things in my childhood, dealing with certain things when I got older. Just trying to figure out life in general. You know, and I feel like growing up, we learn how to grow from our mistakes and become better people. And, you know, I just feel like, you know, expressing those feelings can definitely be iffy depending on who's the one that's receiving the message. So I just feel like just being vulnerable in general in your music, man, is just, it's a challenge depending on what type of person you are. Like, I was never really like open to talking about certain things. I was never really vulnerable as a kid. So, you know, just challenging myself to do it in music and put it out so people can hear. I feel like that was like one of my biggest challenges. So, you know, to be able to do that and have it be received well is definitely it's a plus, and it just helps me. It just makes me more confident in doing it the next time, you know?
Yeah, for sure. But shit though. And even with all the lyrics and stories and words written, putting on record, the other half of it is the sounds. Even the sounds bring a story, and sometimes they connect with the lyrics being told. So what are some like specific sounds or instrumentals that stick out to you that are your go-to?
I like instrumentals that speak to me, man. Like when I'm writing songs, like I like those beats that just help the song, like that just make the song write itself, you know? So I like stuff with, you know, little vocal samples. I like pianos. I like drums. We was just talking about Knowledge earlier. Like a lot of his elements are very, very beneficial to, you know, just learning how to be better and just learning how to separate yourself. So I like that. As of recently, I've just been learning, like, you know, the engineering part of making beats is definitely something that makes or breaks the beat, you know. Just adding those little details is something that's becoming one of my favorites as of recently. So I'd say that, like, the, you know, the little sprinkles that we put on top.
Yeah, no, facts. Yeah, I love what you said, like beats that speak to you, because it's like, you know, once you just like have that beat and it's like, damn, that's kind of like the song that I just referred to before. I remember when my boy made the beat, when we were just sitting there, I used to just have it in my ears, like go on my walks and just like write stuff. I wasn't even writing the verses, but it would just be like thoughts and ideas that come to me while I'm listening to it, definitely. But yeah, I love bass lines. I love like funky bass lines. I love like fly bass lines, like shit that just make you bounce. You know, I love like that bounce and whatever, you know, I kind of do. So I love like the bass lines. I love those like creative drum patterns, like when the drum also plays with that bass line and then it just makes the whole thing come together, is really probably one of those big things for me. And then, you know, like you said, the little candy, the things on the sides, the things that only once in a song or something, or just a little, like you said, a vocal chop, or just like these little bongos in the back that just go in and go out. It's like if you hear it, you hear it. The song is still great without it, but like if you catch enhance it so much. Yeah, those little things definitely play a big role.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to run away from the sounds. I mean, the world is full of sounds and music, and it's all music in a way. Like even the ambiance is just a construction site. It sounds messy, but there's music behind it. You know,
Absolutely.
Clinking.
Absolutely.
You know, even going to somewhere very calming by a lake, just hearing the water, the birds, the wind, the air. The world is full of different sounds, and when you bring it all together, it's music.
Me and my group, we have, I guess, not really a collective, but kind of our group, or this thing I started called Of the Soul, OTS. And one of our tenets, which I got a little bit of the idea from, like, his Nietzsche book I was reading, but it was like, life without music is a mistake. And I love that line so much. Yeah. It's like, if you don't have no music in your life, like, you don't even have to be making it. If, like, there's no rhythm in, like, the things you do, like, you're not doing it right, for real.
That's one of my prime sayings. If it don't rhyme, it don't make sense. I've been reading some little quotes sometimes, and I realize, wait, that rhymed. Clearly. But even that, you know, like, from the stories that are being told and the music and the sounds behind it, like, it's being an artist is not easy as people think, you know. Having to pull out a lot of different emotions and thoughts from past experiences that we didn't even know were there. And then once we take it out, put it on the track, hear it back, we're like, oh shit, that's what I was feeling in that moment, you know? People don't realize that. People don't realize how much it takes to do that. It's not just as simple as saying this word and this word and this word and putting these words together. No.
For sure.
For the people that are storytellers through their music, it's a lot. It's a lot. Especially
if it wasn't, if artists wouldn't be like what we are. You know, it's like this little thing, you know, like in the centuries ago, right? It was only the art that critique the kings in certain worlds, you know. It's like, because we need those people to, like, allow people to express, like, this, what really means something, or just escape from their lives and just live in this kind of fantasy that you want to, you know. And then we have the privilege in, like, creating those worlds that people get to.
Yeah,
it's really spiritual, man. And it's really it's huge.
It's bigger than that side, you know. My love for music started years ago. Like, I didn't realize, honestly, I didn't think I was gonna be here in life until last year. I was like, damn, this year I'm gonna go crazy. And I always know a lot of people know that music, how much music is, like, those people that are aware of it, a lot of people know how much music is in their lives. And the more it's in your, the more you realize it, the more you have this sense of comfort knowing that, like, okay, there's music around here, I'll be alright. There's food around here, I'll be
absolutely.
What would you say? You know what? Both of y'all have done so much, and musically, and put out a lot. So, from your time, how would you say you handle criticism, or even different things different feedback you've gotten?
Handling criticism, I think you have to understand that, like, it's really bigger than you a lot of the time. Like, you have to understand a lot of times criticism is coming from people's, like, internal strife with themselves. like, unless it's like constructive criticism, definitely, like, I love to take anything. If somebody I know genuinely cares about what I'm doing and me, and they're like, oh, this could be better, this could help, I'll take it all in. But I think now I'm at a stage where even if it's constructive criticism, you have to understand who it's coming from, the expertise they have and what they're criticizing you about. So I'll take it in and then I'll analyze it myself, and then come to the conclusion I want to. But if it's just like hate, like somebody just hate, then, I'm also at a space where it's like, I understand, okay, you really just don't like yourself a lot of the times, and then they'll go and try to project it on you, especially doing what we're doing, because it is very brave to just be putting your stuff out there or something like this out there. So some people could just hate that they don't have the confidence to do what you're doing a lot of times, And also, it really is hate, it's a lot of love, but, when it's like so much love, I also kind of get weary, like, it's like, okay, this is a little too much, like. So I was like, once I finally got some hate where I was like, okay, I'm doing so right, you feel me? Because you got to be doing so right for people to hate on you. So yeah, I think just kind of understanding that, knowing that it's bigger than you. Like, you can hate on this, but it can't change what I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to say. Then the hate kind of it really just like rolls off your shoulder, falls off your back.
I agree. I'm the same way, just learning how to take all of it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Don't let the positive feedback get you comfortable. But also don't let the negative feedback, make you, have a detour. You know what I mean? And mess up what you got going on. So, just learning how to take both and just balancing that. And I feel like that just comes with, self-awareness. So I feel like building that self-awareness and understanding what you got going on and what your purpose is, I feel like you shouldn't let any of those things, whether it's positive or negative, let it affect you too much, because there's been times where I've gotten positive feedback and I let it get me comfortable, and then I've let the negative feedback, like, I let it influence me in a certain way, and it's like it doesn't usually have a positive output. So I just feel like, just learning how to take it with a grain of salt, accept it, embrace it, and, just keep pushing, keep moving forward. Like, everybody's going to have something to say, and just learning that you can't satisfy everybody. I feel like just having that mentality and just, making yourself the main purpose. As long as you like what you're doing, you shouldn't have to worry about what anybody else got to say,
Exactly. Real shit. Couldn't have said it better. What do y'all do when it comes down to writer's block?
Just, I try to give myself some time, take those breaks. Just like I said before, just creating that balance, man. You don't always got to be working every day, every hour, but you also should be making sure you're challenging yourself to, push through that. Just sometimes, understanding that you might have writer's block because there's something that you need to do. There's like a missing piece that you got to go seek and find and pick up. There's been a lot of times where I've had writer's block, and it was because my knowledge was limited. You know what I mean? My experiences were limited. So, you got to take that break from doing the work, and then you got to do some other work. So it's like, even if you're just listening to beats or you're watching a movie or you're reading a book, even though you're not directly making music, you're helping yourself become a better artist because you're adding that knowledge to your art, to your craft. So just, learn not to take it too seriously, and then just try to try to look at it in a positive way. Like, it's not really a writer's block. You just need a new challenge. It's time for you to level up. For real.
No, that's beautifully said. When I'm in that state, I just kind of similar, just try to step away from it. Like, if it's something like I've been pressing and I'm just sitting there and I just can't get past the point, it's like, okay, let me step away from this. Let me go live some life. Like you said, level up, go across, expose myself to something else, some other kind of art, or just sit back, sit with myself and let it come to me. The duration that I have to sit back could vary, could vary from 1 hour to 1 1 month or longer or shorter. You know, it just kind of comes, and you have to allow yourself to be open to receive that. And, you know, like on the flip side, when, you know, life seems to just kind of be holding you back from being creative, I try and then would force time for me to get in there, and however little time it is that I have, like, okay, let me give myself the opportunity to be inspired to make something. So, you know, on the flip side, on the other side, I'll just try and, like, okay, whatever it is, 10 minutes a day, let me just hear a beat and put something down, write something. Let me just listen to this, get in there, mix this, and then just give my time and myself opportunity to be inspired. You know, I think that's what I do in, like, those kind of states.
You just gotta, even me, you know, I don't just do the interviews and connect and network, you know, that could be a lot, setting those up. But, you know, obviously I do music, and then I'm adding in other things for me to do to keep me on my feet, just to balance everything out, you know, so I don't get, because once you get locked in with something too much, it can become draining. You know, try to have a balanced lifestyle in the sense of everything, you know, doing, you know. Now the questions will be a little bit more thought-provoking as they get more. Yeah, they got some fun ones here and there. After these thought-provoking questions, and we close those out, we do have 3 segments we will be doing, which is finish the lyric. I will at least let you know the name of the artist so you can figure that out. Versus series, which is basically just artist versus artist, song versus song, project versus project, so on and so forth. And then first thing comes to mind, then we close out. So starting off with, who would you say is your top 5?
Are we doing a personal top 5 or a non-biased top 5?
I'm curious about both.
Because I feel like when I do my top 5, I usually base it off like the amount of influence that they've had towards making my music and like how much I listen to them. But I know that my top 5, I probably wouldn't like put certain artists in a non-biased top 5. I just have my, you know what I mean, my own like little thing going on.
And this is musicians, rappers, producers, or what?
Anybody.
Okay. So where do I go?
I'll do top 5. I'll do top 5 rappers. This would be my bias list. Number 1, I put DMX on my number 1. I feel like that was an artist who, like, if it wasn't for him, like, I really don't know if I'd be rapping for real. I put him up there. I put MF Doom up there. I feel like he was another artist that helped me a lot, so I have them at my top 2. Trying to think. I feel like I put Project Pat up there, and that's somebody that's like usually not in a top 5, but I had a lot of family that grew up down south, so I always was just bumping 3 6 Mafia. That was probably like the first group, like not from New York, that I might have started listening to when I was a kid. So I probably put him up there, and then those last 2 spots can go to so many people. You know what I mean? Like, you got Nas, you got Hove, you got Dot, you got Cole, a lot of people. So those last 2 spots would be a little bit more difficult for me. But I say, even like Prodigy, I put Prodigy at one of my favorites. Ghostface Killah is like one of my favorites. I feel like once we get to 4 and 5, it started getting crazy for me. So I would say, like, the artists that I name, I'll probably put them on my top 5, depending on what day you ask me.
Okay. That's like that list. And you did it in order. I wouldn't even think about order. If I think order, I think I have to put, it'll probably be Pac at my number 1. Just kind of influence on music, and then outside of music, it's just and BIRDZ for me, even though I didn't really get on Pac, like really dive into him till like not too long ago, but I probably have Pac in my one. Probably Wayne at my two. I think just the shit Wayne was doing when I was like a real music head, like listening, it just didn't make no sense. I have Wayne at my two. Then I could put maybe Doom and Kendrick. We can figure those 3 or 4. And then that 5 is a tough one to do. Like you said, a bunch of people could go in there for me. But if I was to put somebody, I would say probably I think Eminem. Like, yeah, like what that nigga was doing, like how his pen was
different.
Crazy.
He don't get enough. He don't get enough of his flowers.
Yeah. Need that.
Definitely don't. What do y'all say are the pros and cons of music?
Man, I'll start with the cons that I could think of. I think the cons, and maybe this isn't just music, it may be for most things, but I think the people who do it so good, like the greats, make it seem easy. So now anybody thinks they could be it. And then to add on to that, I think a pro and a con is the loss of gatekeepers in music. So now it's just like wide open. You know, so like now you could bullshit and still be world renowned as a musician now. So I think that protection of the art form by the people who really love it has opened the door to allow like people who maybe we would have never listened to who are good to come up, but it's also opened a door for like people who don't care about the art form at all to abuse it. And, you know, that kind of trickles down, you know, once people who a lot of people listen to don't love something and they're champion, it trickles down, you know. Like a few years ago, I was hearing so many rappers saying, like, I'm not a rapper, I don't give a fuck about rapping. And it's like, damn, why even get in this shit? Who really love this shit and like, you know, go out of who music and rap music, hip hop is like saved their lives. So I'll say that might be a con. Probably another con is like, you know, those people who glorify like the shit that we don't need glorifying in hip hop, right? You know, and what's even worse is like when they're really not even in it. Like people who are like the craziest shit, who maybe lived in the hood 1 year and they're gone. Like if you making money, you was not going through none of that shit. Like stop rapping or talking about none of that. So like once they do it, and then people who never seen or experienced nothing like that feel like they've lived it because they listen to your music, it's like, nah, that's terrible. But I think the pros is that it allows people who like you said, you know, who weren't people who were just always, you know, talking and like expressing themselves. It gives us an outlet to go and do that, you know, in a way that, you know, it doesn't feel like we're just talking and expressing our feelings, even though we are. But like you put it on the beat, you make it sound catchy, you do this, now you're like doing that and making people feel good. It's beautiful. The connection it made, like we talked about music and food, I think the connection music could, you know, where somebody who doesn't even speak your language can rap your whole verse and like feel the energy you wanted to express when you first recorded that song. I think those are like some of the most beautiful pros of music.
I feel like I feel like it's both a pro and a con. Is the amount of influence it can have on people. You know what I mean? Like I feel like music has saved a lot of lives. but I also feel like there's been a lot of times where music has also ended lives, but that's just due to, I would kind of put the blame on the person as well as the music, but I just feel like, you know, if it wasn't for certain songs being made, some people would still be here, you know. So I feel like that's definitely, it can either be a pro or a con depending on which way you look at it. Just like you said, man, another pro is just building connections. Like the amount of people that I've like been able to meet and like come across and, you know, shake hands with, collaborate with, all just because we share that similar interest in just music. Beautiful. Even like, you know, connections outside of us, like our favorite artists collaborate, and like a lot of songs being put on like video games. It's like we grow up listening to music, like our lives like almost revolve around it almost, and it can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing as well. I feel like, you know, another con, just like he said, with the people that, you know, who do it in time try to shit on it, and it's just like, you know, like, why are you here? Like, it's kind of like you're wasting your own time for real. So that was just one of those things where I feel like it's just, I feel like that could be a con, you know, a lot of people thinking that they could do it, you know, messing up their digital footprint. If people believe in that or not, you know, just having things up on the internet that can never go away. It's like you're taking a big risk doing this. But yeah, other than that, I definitely feel like there's more pros and cons, and that could just be a biased opinion because I make music, but I feel like for the most part, a lot of people would agree. It just depends on who you are as a person, man. Like there might be more cons to certain people, but it just all depends on how you grew up and how music has treated you and how you received it, you know?
Like I said earlier, you know, art comes in different shapes, forms, and it just depends how you
Absolutely.
It, you know? That being said, what would you say is one of your favorite songs from your own catalog, and why?
I got a lot. I got a couple. I feel like my most recent one. I had to pick one. I'll probably pick a recent one. I'll probably say I got a song out now that's called After the Storm. It's kind of just one of those songs that speaks to you, man. Like I'm a big fan of my music. Like when the Spotify rap, like when that comes up, like I'm always like my top artist, which is like something that I'm trying to break out of this year, but it's just like I just can't stop listening to my own music, man. As egotistical as that may sound, but it's like sometimes I listen to it to study, you know what I mean, find what I can fix in my music, or if I'm like getting ready for a show, I listen to the music, get ready for the show. So it's like I try to listen to it through different perspectives, but I feel like that's one of my favorite songs because, you know, it's like the beat, the lyrics, and, you know, I just love being able to impress myself. So it's like I'll listen to a song like in a couple years and just be like, damn, like what was I going through when I was writing it? So like how was I able to write this? So it's just like just being able to hear it through a different perspective and still be a fan of it despite being me. I feel like that's something that once you get to that point as an artist, you're good. You on the right track for real.
No, and that's maybe it's egotistical, but I think it's like a healthy egotism. I think like I'm the same way. I think it's only right like that. At least you gotta love it.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, if nobody else gonna listen to your shit, at least you gonna have one listener, you know, and that's how. Cause yeah, I'm the same way. I'm always the 0.0001% of you know, on my Spotify. But as for me, if I was to pick a song, I'll probably do one more recent too. I think I just dropped a song called a little while ago, "Crazy in the East," which like it was the crazy thing about this song was that like it was honestly me trying to get back into like album mode in a sense. I had just finished my last project and I was mixing a lot, so I was like trying to get my mixing bag stronger, so like sonically my next project could sound better. Then my boy Dan was just like, we went on YouTube, he made like a little playlist. He's like, I feel like these beats are hit for you, like just get your pen ready before we start the next project. So that beat was one of those, and it was just me kind of like, all right, let me just get raps off. And I heard one of my partners on it and I sent it to him. and he heard some things I said in my verse, and how he crafted his verse almost made that song like an anthem here in Oakland, like in the Bay, you know. So it's like crazy in the East, and we in East Oakland, so people out here just like they gravitated to it in a way that like it's a testament to like, damn, your music, like what it could end up being is not like what you could think it is, you know, while you're creating it. Like I was just trying to rap, but then the song ended up being like something people like, damn, bro, this is like, this shit is special for us. Like it feels like it's for, you know, for East Oakland, for like where I'm from. So yeah, that was probably one of those songs for me.
Definitely, I definitely did love that track too. That's one of the songs I ever re-listened to. I was like, and just not even just the song, just the whole video. Yeah, cinematic.
Yeah,
love it. What would y'all say is the best advice given to y'all?
I would say that the best advice that I was given, but I read it in the book, so it kind of was given to me through the source of a book. But like I said earlier, like no one is immune to difficulty. I feel like growing like now, I feel like a lot of us grow up and we become entitled to a lot of stuff that we don't really put in the work to deserve, you know what I mean? So it's like when we go through these difficult moments or we lose when we expect ourselves to win, I feel like now we're at a point where it's like it's easier to give up, you know, when we're faced with adversity. So I feel like just understanding that no one is immune to difficulty, which is meaning that like it's inevitable. Like you're gonna go through hardships, like you're gonna go through. It's just like the weather, like it changes. Like sometimes you got sun, sometimes you got rain, sometimes you got snow. But it's just like the more prepared you are for that change of weather, you ain't really gonna have a problem. Only thing you got to do is just be ready for it and just, you know, just wait for it to end. And then there's just always gonna be better days in a row. Like when I was making this music, like I've been doing this for over a decade now. Like I done went through ups and downs, and it's like if I had let it get to me too much, then who's to say that I'd still be here doing what I'm doing? Who's to say that I'd still be as good as I am today? So it's just like understanding that there's hardships, you know, we got a job to do. And it's like, if this is something that we want to do, you got to learn to accept that it's not always going to be easy. You know what I mean? Like life was never promised to be easy. So, you know, as simple as cliche as it sounds, I feel like just actually really understanding that philosophy, you'll be good. Like you'll be resilient. Like it'll help you get far.
No, I like that. I think for me, like there's two I could really think of. And the first one, I don't know if anybody told me. I feel like I kind of just came to it after like reassessing life. But I guess you could say kind of like don't dim your light yourself. I remember growing up, like when I was hooping and just knowing the skill set I had. Whenever people would ask me, like, "Are you nice? Are you good?" I'd always like, you know, trying to be humble, be like, "Oh yeah, I'm smooth, I'm solid," knowing that like I know I'm really like that. But I would never just be the one to say, yeah, like I'm this, I'm that. You know, for some reason, you know, you feel like you have to be humble in certain spaces. But I kind of got to a point where I was like, all right, like I know I'm lying. Like if somebody asks me like, are you this or are you that? Like step all the way into it. Now if somebody asks me like, yeah, like I'm different. Like I'm really this or I'm that.
You're talking shit.
Yeah, like, you know, and not be delusional about it. And so that was one. And I think the second one kind of plays part to that is like, also don't be delusional about the work that requires to be what you say you are. Like if you know, every time people like ask me for advice or this or that, it's like a lot of the shit you want advice for, you know the answer. And it's not difficult. You just have to be consistent and like really do it. Like the hardest part is like really doing it. Oh, you want to do this? You want to lose weight? It's simple, right? Eat less than work out more than you eat and do that shit every day. So doing it. So like understanding that like, okay, I can say I want to be this, and that, but it's somebody that's working every moment that I'm like chilling. So like, let me put in the work that makes sense, that'll allow me to not be delusional when I say I'm this and I'm that. So I think those are probably some of those advices. I don't know if I can't remember if anybody told me. I feel like that's just kind of come about, you know, when I reassess life and sit back.
Now that brings me to my last final question before we get to the 3 segments. Like I said, I shortened them, but that would be: are there any artists y'all want to shout out? Any artists, local artists that y'all know?
Oh yeah, man, we got some soldiers out here. Shit, like my dog Pussy, who he from New Orleans, but he's from Oakland. He done been here, but just he got a voice. His pen is crazy. He's just literally one of the hardest rappers I've ever heard, for real. I know I've been blessed to have him on a bunch of songs. We have a bunch of songs together. Hopefully we can do like, you know, a little collab thing. My dog Nims, who's like just one of the wittiest, like craftiest, like writers I've heard. And he's really like a town nigga, but he does it in like his own way. You know, he has his own style, who's just so hard. My dog Cuddy D's, it was just like one of these, like he's funny, he's witty, he doesn't try too hard. His music is so different. It's very vulgar, but he does it in a way where you just feel like you gotta laugh it all sometimes, man. It's like, it's fun. But yeah, in the Bay, like you said in the beginning or earlier, we have a sound that, like, if you think about Bay Area music, you probably think of like sped up slow sample, and then like just rapping fast on it. But it's so much like on the outside of that, like so many people who, because they don't sound like that sound, probably don't get as much shine as they should and could just from being here. It's like, maybe if we was in New York, you might appreciate it a little more or something. But yeah, it's some hitters out here, bro.
That's fire. I feel like in my case, it's a little bit different. You know, I'm like 2.5 hours away from the city. And I feel like my city doesn't really have one, you know, definitive sound yet. But there's a lot of people that's out, man, that has their own lane and that's doing what they're doing, man. You know, like I got, there's a lot of collectives, man. So like dudes like, you know, the Glock Stars, they got some crazy music. Another group, PDR, Plastic Boys. It's cool to see us, you know, grow and become a community, man. Because I remember there was a time where rap wasn't really getting as much love as it does now, you know what I mean? Especially in the underground scene. Like there really isn't any mainstream rappers from where I'm around, man. Like that's more so like a Buffalo thing, and that's like even a couple more hours upstate from where I'm at. So you know, there's a lot of dudes, man, like OZ, Knuckles Brim, man, my brother Speed, man, shout out him. Myself, of course, but you know, just like the homies, man, it's just cool to just be able to, you know, put our foot down and create this footprint in the city, and you know, just help create good music. I enjoy the Albany rap scene, man, because it's growing, and I feel like if I'm able to do my part and, you know, put more shine on the city, then I'll definitely do what I can to make sure that becomes a reality.
Real shit, man. Shout out to the homies, for real.
Absolutely.
Where you from, man? Now that brings us to finish the lyrics. So I'm at least do 2. These are classics. Hopefully y'all can get them. For the first one, I'm a straight rider. I won't deny it.
You never fuck.
You don't want to fuck with me.
Thanks to me.
Alright, East Coast similarity, Biggie. It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Got the Heavy D up in the limousine. hanging pictures on my wall every Saturday. Rap Attack, Mr. Magic Mark. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Shout out Big, man.
Man, I ironically chose those two because we got one person from the West Coast, one person from the East Coast. I love how both y'all answer your designated. Both of y'all knew at the same time, man. That's what we do. Yeah. All right, now we got versus series. I got a few interesting ones. So I got The Chronic versus Diaries by Scarface.
I damn near have to go Chronic just cause it's like, even though I'm not a big Dr. Dre rapping fan, I think the sound of that shit for all of Cali was just insane. Like how that shit sounded in the 90s. Snoop, like how he sounded like coming up there with Dre, and like how they put on for like, even though it was Southern California, I think it just meant a lot for us for the region.
Yeah. I say the same thing. I feel like the beats on that album is crazy. Like even like the engineering, like I remember I did some research and I was like, there was a lot of people that said that was like one of the best like engineered albums in like hip hop. Like the way that album sounds is like, especially during that time, it's crazy. Like Dr. Dre is like a genius when it comes to the music shit. So then it's like that album is just all the proof that you need. So I'd definitely go with The Chronic. That's like one of my favorite albums, bro.
Shit. Now we got To Pimp a Butterfly versus My Dark, Beautiful, Twisted Fantasy.
I gotta go with Ye. I love To Pimp a Butterfly, but I feel like that Twisted Fantasy, that album is just...
And that's my favorite Ye. There's like, I love his first beginning classic ones. His newest ones I'm not too attuned to, but that one, yeah, hits for me.
That one, also just what he was going through around that time, like everything that was happening around that time, and then that album coming out, the making of the album, I feel like all of those little pieces just helped the album be as good as it is today. Like that's like really one of the best albums, one of the best hip hop albums that I've heard in a while.
Yeah. I love that album, but I'm going To Pimp a Butterfly. I mean, To Pimp, but that's
a great album.
Yeah, that was
controversial too. Like, bro,
I think it's like also kind of where he was at that time. Also, right after Good Kid, Mad City, we were like wondering which direction he was gonna go, and I think he like, when nobody was really expecting that, how we incorporated the Pac interview, and it just felt so like conversational. And then the songs, it probably still is my favorite Kendrick album, even though I think GNX is damn near my favorite Kendrick album. but yeah,
GNX is fire.
Hell yeah, for sure. We got Death Certificate by Ice Cube and The Blueprint by Jay-Z.
I gotta go with The Blueprint, but I love Death Certificate. But I just remember I got more of a nostalgic bias with The Blueprint. Like I remember I got an uncle that's from Harlem, so I was hearing a lot of Dipset, a lot of Jay-Z. So I just remember growing up and just listening to The Blueprint, like The Ruler's Back, and like just You Don't Know, Lyrical Exercise, like that album is insane. The album is insane, and it's just like, even with him dropping it on was that the one that came out on 9/11, if I'm not mistaken?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was The Blueprint. Yeah, like I don't know, man. Like that album is crazy. I think that's probably one of my favorite Jay-Z albums. But I love Death Certificate. I gotta go with Hov though.
Yeah. Yup.
My phone just died. Let's see. Okay. That's right.
But yeah, I had said the Death Certificate versus the Blueprint.
Death Certificate.
That's Ice Cube, and then we got Jay.
I'm going Blueprint. I think I'm going Blueprint. That motherfucker was the Blueprint. And it was crazy. I wasn't a huge Jay fan. I was never a big Jay fan until I went to prep school after high school, and my assistant coach loved Jay. So on our road trips, that's all this nigga used to play. And then you start like hearing it, and he was like, what, like 7-8 years older. So he'll be like breaking down like, this is what he's saying, like, and I'm like, oh, this nigga was on some other shit. And then I like got back. I started back from the bottom. Like, okay, let me really listen to the Blueprint. Yeah, I don't know why he don't really. It feel like he don't rap like that no more to me. But
I agree.
Yeah, I'm taking the Blueprint.
Final one of the Versus series. MJ versus Prince.
My bad. What was that?
MJ versus Prince.
I was just having this conversation like a couple months ago. Big ass argument in the crib. I gotta go. Songs, I'm gonna say Michael. I feel like Michael just like could not miss when it came to making out. But then I feel like Prince was also someone who didn't miss. But I feel like Michael's music was different. His music was more. I feel like it was more family friendly than Prince, and I feel like that's where Michael was able to get that edge when it came to being compared to Prince. Like, I love Prince, like his work ethic, the way he was as an artist. Like, Prince was nothing short of a genius. But if I had to pick between the two, I'd have to go with Mike. Like, I remember hearing Beat It. Like, I remember hearing the guitar solo in Beat It when I was a kid, and that shit like blew my mind. Like, that's like hands down still one of my favorite songs by Michael Jackson. Like, from that, music videos, like the influence that he still has, like with him not being here for almost 20 years, like it's crazy, man. I remember when he passed away, like I was sick.
Yeah. Nah, I damn gotta go MJ too. Yeah. Like his influence, like to be as big as he was when he was, like I don't think there was anybody. Is there anybody on the world that's ever been as famous as Michael Jackson was? I can't say like globally. His music, like Thriller, was just straight hits. What was it, like 10 songs, 8 to 10 songs, but it's just hit. Prince, like you said, I love the genius of Prince. I think the only thing, Prince was like the person, and I don't know, but I feel like he was the person who was like, I want to do all of this myself, make sure, like, produce this, write this, probably engineer most of this shit. I think Michael was just like, I'll collaboratively create something amazing. You know, he imposed what he wants on it, but he was just such an amazing entertainer, performer too, that it's like
absolutely.
Damn, I think Michael allowed the people around him to flourish, which made him flourish so much more too. And I think that might be like the little difference that edge he got on Prince for sure.
Yeah, real shit. Now we finally almost done. We got the last thing that comes to mind, then we're gonna close out. What we can do this is I'll let you, ISO, answer first, and then Ali. So first, color.
Blue, baby blue.
Green.
Place.
West Africa.
New York City.
Okay. Country.
Nigeria.
London.
Okay. Food.
Some chicken and waffle.
Yeah, talk about it.
I'll probably say like French fries. That's what I'm craving right now, for real.
Smell.
Cinnamon.
I'll take it as some
Clean clothes.
sound.
Oh. Dogs barking.
Brain.
Song.
Oh wow. Oh, as soon as you said that what was that song from the No Worries? What do you say? You got what they say. No Worries.
Forget the name.
Thundercat. Worries. I forgot what the song was called. That just popped in my head.
I'd say Walk On By with Thundercat and Kendrick Lamar.
Wow, that was one.
Shoe.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Thundercat was in both of the songs we just thought of. That's crazy.
Hell yeah. That's wild.
Shoe. The white Air Force Ones.
Brett Force.
Okay. Team.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Hero.
LA Lakers.
Yeah. Hero. I'll go Spider-Man. That's my dog.
I was gonna say the same thing. Spider-Man.
This interview to a wrap. Finally, we are here. Now, I love the idea of bringing y'all two together, and I really do hope y'all go, right after this, go try to, connect with each other. And yeah,
Totally.
it's great. This is great. That's what I love. That's what I love to see. This is the point of Yard Talk, to genuine connections. Like, I also am an artist myself, so I really do hope to continue to grow our connection between each other. I'm out here in New Jersey. You out here, you up there in New York, but we, you feel me? We could definitely tap
For sure.
on something. So what's next for y'all? What's next for both of y'all coming up?
I just say, just more stuff, man. More good music, more videos, man. Just trying to be better than last year,
Yeah. More music, more videos, more consistency. I think one of the main things I want to focus on is just putting out like more and continue to put out high quality like visuals, just things that I could share and put out, just so to get my face, my name, my music out there more. That's really one of the main focus. And performing. I'm trying to perform as much wherever I can. I want to do like at least like 50 shows this year.
Yeah. No, go. You already on a roll with that.
Yeah.
So if y'all don't know where to find them, link in the description. Definitely check them out on Instagram, and you'll find a link to all their music. Rhakim Ali, and then we got ISO. Come on,
yes, sir.
like, these are some artists. Y'all need to get to it. Also, the people they shouted out, we'll definitely make sure we, it's all about the connections and watching out for everybody. Now,
Yes, sir.
final thing. Do y'all have any questions for me?
Man, what? Okay, you did say you were influenced to start this through like a few other things, but what would you say was probably the biggest influence that had you like, damn, I want to, bring artists on and talk to them and stuff like that?
I'm already naturally that type of person that I like to connect with people and talk to people. I'm already, being from down south, I have my southern hospitality and all that. So, and I also understood I'm in the music industry, and we're all the same way. We're people that tend to want to keep certain things to ourselves and be in our own bubble, but with music, that takes opening up, which is a hard thing to do. But I also understand if I'm going to get anywhere in this life, gotta connect with people. So I was like,
Absolutely.
what's a way I can make it more interesting? Start a platform where I just gather a whole bunch of artists together and on one platform, and every day and every year goes, continue to connect with y'all, have these genuine conversations, learn about y'all, learn about the people behind the music, and because at the end of the day, we're all humans, we're all going through something, and there's always, in most cases, there's always something deeper behind the art, and that's what we're here to learn. That's why I'm here to learn. I get inspired by y'all, a lot of the artists that I've interviewed and got a chance to talk to. I made a good few close friends that I know that's gonna last a long time.
That's what's up. I would say my question is, what's something that you've learned about yourself within the last year or so when it comes to being creative, or when it comes to making this platform be better than what it was before? Like what's something that you've learned about yourself that's helped you be better as a creative?
That's a good question. Yeah, damn. Honestly, just trying to figure out how to put it together, but damn. That's a good question.
Because I know, like, for me, man, like, one thing that I've definitely learned is just like, like it's definitely like it comes in waves, man. And I've just learned that over the years, like, I've just become better and better at trusting myself, like in the grand, like when it comes to like in the current moment, like in the present moment, it might not always seem like that goal is possible, but it's just like I have a very good ability to like say that I want to do this and like actually get it done. Like I feel like that's a superpower that I feel like we have in all of us, and I feel like that's something that I've learned that I like actually have. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree. When you put it like that, yeah, that's exactly what it is for me. Even now, I'm adding other endeavors, creative endeavors. Like I want to start doing films. Like doing music videos and all that. And so I'm like, I got me the equipment I need. You feel me? I'm learning it, and even just the details in it, getting better at editing and getting better at sound. I started adding music to the lo-fi music to the interviews just to kind of make it pop more and make it flow.
Yeah.
Just the little details I learned over the time just to add into everything, even my music, just certain things I learned. I mean, art is a learning process, and you're never gonna stop learning, ever.
Absolutely, that's a fact.
As you're gonna always learn stuff in life in general throughout every day, because you go through.
You're not learning, you're not getting better.
That's right. That's right. See, I definitely have to agree with you that I'm just able to slightly perfect myself every day. So, but that brings us to the end of the interview, y'all. Once again, like, subscribe, all that shit, man. I would like to welcome these two great artists, ISO and Rhakim Ali, to the Yard Talk family.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. Glad to be here, man.
Appreciate y'all as well, man. I'm glad.
What's it
Absolutely.
called? DM me Rhakim's Instagram so we'll connect on there.
Yeah.
Will do, most definitely.
Yes, sir.
But y'all know what it is. Do this, and y'all know what to do. You feel me? Feel me?
Yes, sir.
ISO Rhakim Ali. Yeah.
But if it ain't rhyming, you ain't doing it right. Look.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Look, tell me why he's still tripping off a rebound. It's getting real crazy in the East now. She left church, you won't believe the shit she doing on her knees now. I got a beep, it's on these W's on speed dial. I'm 4 up, I just swept and put your feet down.
The hoes think I'm devilish and handsome. Kidnap your queen and have you pay the king's ransom. Stand and deliver, my plan's getting bigger. The sun on my back, I put my hands in the river. If you feeling like the man, reconsider. My life became the money shot after I pulled the trigger. Instincts wasn't killer.